Welcome to Your Health Matters. I'm your host, Temesia Tuicaumia, and tonight we have a very special guest from one of my favorite islands in Polynesia, from Samoa. Donina, how are you tonight?
I'm very good, thank you. Seeing you now.
Donina and I are actually very good friends, and she's been very supportive in this role as co-chair for the Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development. We've talked about early childhood development here in Fiji, but tonight we get to talk about the Pacific and what the leaders are doing and how that's trickling down to our communities. So as the co-chair for Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development, she sits alongside RMI. So it's nice to have them represented as a chair for the PRC for ECD for short form. Wow, Donina, where do I even start? I didn't even know you were here. It's so good to have you.
I know, and when you found out, it was very
I was like,
last
we
minute.
need you to come and to share with everyone in Fiji and the Pacific that's watching.
And
so
it's important.
It's so
It's very
important.
important.
What's it been like for you as co-chair? I know it's a big responsibility, and how many countries are involved in this Pacific Regional Council?
So the PRC for ECD has a membership of 15 countries.
Wow.
Established in 2019. And it is a very unique space because it is the only intergovernmental coordinate mechanism in the whole world for early childhood development. We co-chair the steering committee together with RMI, but the co-chairs at ministerial level are Minister for Women from Fiji, as well as our minister.
And you don't have a lot of time, right? I know your council meeting is coming right around the corner.
That's right.
What date is it set to happen this year?
May 13th, 14th, 15th, and the welcome is on the 12th. So we're
in the beautiful islands of?
In the heart of the Pacific, may I say.
In Samoa. Pacific Regional Council has all these amazing leaders that are on board. How old is this council?
The council was established in 2019. It was a call to action by our Pacific Island leaders with issues concerning the health of our children, and established a council so that countries could work together to, first of all, develop policies, ECD policies, because at the time there were no ECD policies, as well as develop their cost reduction plans, as well as their monitoring and evaluation frameworks, and that was a lot of support. Yes, and a lot of support from UNICEF Pacific.
I was just going to say, it's been we've been very blessed here in the Pacific to have UNICEF come in and, you know, push in these initiatives for the Pacific. What's their role too been like with UNICEF in terms of early childhood development?
I'm lost for words because they have actually impacted beyond, may I say, and brought early childhood development to the surface where it needs to be. And not just the surface, but going really deep by having the policies. But it's not just about having the policies as well. They've been actually supporting and looking at from the policies to the programs to the practices. So where to? Because now you've got, I believe they were supporting 15 countries of the 15. About 8 now have launched or completed their policies, and now halfway through the implementation.
And their first ever, right? Their first ever early childhood development policy.
Absolutely.
And so that's been exciting for the Pacific, that we're valuing children and we're actually putting policies together.
Absolutely.
With your work with UNICEF and the Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development, what are some things that you really hope to come out from these meetings, and who are actually attending this council meeting?
The PRC for ECD Forum, this is the 4th one. I think they've had 3 previously. The last one was in 2023.
So they're really much in the pioneering and growing.
Yes, and it's actually really looking at where the needle has shifted around early childhood development, what countries are actually doing, and explore the challenges that they're facing, and then looking at solutions in order for them to be better at what they do. I guess one of the biggest things is to ensure that ECD is embedded. It's cross-cutting across all ministries. It's not a one ministry
it
thing.
Just doesn't come under Ministry of Women or Children or Education.
You may have a focal,
but
you will need the support of, like for example, with us, we're working very closely with Justice, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education. We've just launched our...
You just said that word as well, cross-sectoral, right? Working alongside these.
We launched our high-level launch, as we called it, on February the 11th, our ECD policy. And then in the last 3 weeks, we've had community launches.
Wow.
Because it's not just about having that
Having
high
it up
level
here,
law. The real change comes from
Yes.
at the,
The
grassroots.
grassroots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've just finished going around the whole of Samoa, and it's been
Wow.
incredible, actually. And we had health, education, and our ministry
Yes.
hand in hand with the community to actually bring ECD policy to the villages
Wow.
and the districts.
Okay, so now we've covered who's going to be coming to this Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development, and I think there's still a bit of a confusion on what exactly is early childhood development. If you could just share that, because
Sure.
I think moms, dads, carers at home need to understand what is early childhood development.
Yes, and I also think it's also very important to understand the intersectionality between early childhood development
Right.
and gender equality.
Such an important
Yes,
topic.
it is. Yes, because you can't talk about children without the women and with the men as well, because they
and
walk
the
with us.
children,
But in terms of early childhood development, or ECD as they say, what it is the phase from conception to 8. Right?
So when you say conception, is that when the mom...
When they're in mom's womb.
pregnant,
Yes.
it starts right there.
Yes, yes. And it's not just a stage, it is the foundation of everything that actually follows. That's very clear. The science is clear.
Yeah.
Science is clear. In those early years, a child's brain is developing over 1 million connections, right, per
And
second.
this is not happening in high school or primary school.
No.
It's
It's
happening at that special, conceptual
That's right.
stage of life.
So what a child actually hears, feels, or experiences is the window that will shape the rest of his or her life.
Yeah.
It is vital. It's like saying it's the main stage.
Yeah.
Of a child's
That's it,
life,
yeah.
of a person's life, is that 0 to 8. There's no two words about it. But I actually also want to say quite plainly that if we start the work at 0, when the baby is still in the womb, and we surround that mother and child with love, support, and the services, we're not just helping the child.
That's where
Guess
equality
what?
comes in.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
what?
you.
Tell me.
We're helping the parents, the family, and the future. There is
Whoa.
so much. You won't be
That's
doing what
literally the whole community,
Exactly.
if you think about it.
Because
yeah?
when the child actually grows up healthy, happy, and thriving, what does that mean? It means the parents are supported and the households are stable. That's not so about it. It's not Einstein.
And we try to go and find, maybe we need more of this, but no, you just
we need to
this,
pivot
this
to
family.
actually, that's right.
Wow.
Absolutely. So I guess the real question here is, shouldn't we start here at the beginning? Not after the harm is done.
Right.
Or not when the child's facing violence or discrimination or having health issues.
Yeah.
But when there's still time to shape them from that age.
And it's not even about, just from hearing what you've shared, early childhood development is not about math and English. It's about the whole well-being of this child, from
Absolutely.
the health. You've mentioned about the mental health too of the mom. And
That's
so everyone's health matters at this
Education,
point.
financial,
Education,
social,
finance.
spiritual.
Yeah.
It's all that. But it doesn't come just with the child. It is with the family.
Yeah.
It is with mom and dad, brother and sister,
Ends
auntie,
up with
uncle,
the family.
grandmother.
Everybody.
Yes. We will be thriving.
Yes.
An utopian society.
Well, thank you, Donina. Well, you've heard it just now. We've learned about Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development, UNICEF's amazing role here in the Pacific. And what is early childhood development? We'll see you right after the break on Your Health Matters. Welcome back to Your Health Matters. I'm your host, Temesia, and tonight we have a very special guest, Donina, all the way from the, like she mentioned, the heart of the Pacific, Samoa. Donina, I know we're not going to be talking about the significance of having Samoa host this meeting. I'm so excited because I'm coming to Samoa. I've never been, but apart from just Samoa in general, hosting this, what is the significance of having the Pacific Regional Council come to Samoa with all the amazing guests?
Well, as you know, I was part of the 2023
Yes.
ECD Forum, and it's always actually been held in Fiji. And not saying that it cannot be held in Fiji, it is an incredible.
This is the
We're
first time
all
out of
Fiji.
Wow.
Yes. And we've always loved Fiji. I love to come
Yeah.
Fiji, but strategically speaking, wouldn't you want to take it where to see the lived
Yes.
realities of those
Yes.
countries? So hence why it was voted by the ministers in the last ECD forum
Yeah.
to actually look at
That's
going
special.
around the 15
Yeah.
countries. And the first country was Samoa, given that we were actually co-chairs.
Yes.
And because we were co-chairs,
Co-chairs.
it was unanimously agreed
Voted,
for
agreed.
it to actually
That's
come
fantastic.
to Samoa.
Yeah, we're coming to well, the ministers are coming to Samoa, and you know a lot of people always just say, what are these points of having all these meetings, and what actually comes out of it? What are the outcomes that really do come out from having the ministers, civil society organizations that come in to support, and other components that play a strong role? What does that 1 week do for them, for these guests, these ministers that come in?
That's a great question, come to think of it, because it's not just on this that people ask those questions. It's in
Yes.
every other forum
Everyone, yeah.
that countries do go to. It comes down to also how the countries themselves embed what they get from
Yes.
within those meetings, take it right down to the grassroots, right? So for the PRC, the Pacific Regional Council ECD Forum that's actually happening in Samoa, there's a few sort of improvements from, let's say, we always improve. There's never perfection. It's
Right.
always about improving. So we took the lessons learned from 2023, and we've now made changes to the next, the forum that we're holding. For example, one of the key things that we're doing is a one-day ECD summit for caregivers and workers.
Wow.
Something that was...
Not just high level, you're actually going down to the
Yes.
grassroots.
So we're going to have
inviting
that
them
on
in.
the first day as an extension of the ECD forum. And the outcomes from that will be taken into the ministerial forum on the second day for their deliberations. And it's going to be hybrid so that we can't afford to get everyone there,
Right.
but everyone from around the Pacific can actually join in. UNICEF is supporting that, as well as the government of Samoa is actually funding that particular summit, because we see it's actually very important.
I'm so excited about having the grassroots in the room, because usually, you know, the conversations around this is always, oh, they're always having their meeting and we never know what's going on in there. But having the ministers aware of what's happening in Samoa on the first day, it gives them also, wouldn't you say it gives them like a realization of what is about to come for that week when they're sitting there and making decisions for their countries, and how do they value early childhood development in those countries?
Absolutely. It's what we've actually put across to UNICEF. I've been walking alongside UNICEF in putting this together to get out to the Pacific Island countries
Sounds
to
like
ensure...
a lot of sleepless nights for you.
Absolutely. I will send the bill to UNICEF. But getting out to the countries to ensure that their CSOs are part of the journey. That is very crucial.
I
because
love this holistic approach that UNICEF, Pacific Regional Council, and Samoa taking on that co-chair role
with RMI. So
With
I've been working with
RMI.
RMI as well as with Fiji. We've had in this night some discussions around this as well. Another key thing is that just wanted to update,
Yes,
all
please.
15 countries have confirmed coming to Samoa.
Really?
So we're very,
Wow.
at this early stage for them to actually confirm
And
this,
there's a
it's
big difference
incredible.
having people actually in the room when you're talking about these important things for their countries, right?
Absolutely. We'll also be hosting a Manaya market. So a Manaya
Whoa.
women's market, bringing together vendors from
A
across the
women's
Pacific.
market?
Yes. To celebrate and support women entrepreneurs, because many of them are also caregivers. So this is where that intersectionalities that we were actually talking about is very important.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but what is the word for talanoa in Samoa?
We still do
Oh,
say
use the talanoa.
talanoa, yes.
So, I mean, having
it's
these...
across the...
across the Pacific. So having these talanoas can do so much more, right, than having them sit in a room. But you're providing these spaces with UNICEF so that the conversation is going and you're actually hearing from the moms. What gave you the
Absolutely.
idea of having this market night for the women and getting everyone involved?
Well, as noted, we really looked at where we can be better to connect, because that is the missing links, and why early childhood development is not really embedded in the work that we do is because there's these missing links, and one of them is actually the gender equality, where we actually feel that they are deeply connected, right? Women carry the bulk of caregiving. Right? So it is by investing in ECD, we also invest in the women's well-being, right? Recognition
And if the
and
moms are
economic
okay, the
empowerment.
children are okay.
Exactly.
What was that last one you just touched on?
Economic empowerment.
Which is so important and crucial here in the Pacific. I know in Fiji we have our women's market that the ministry pushes out. So it's really exciting to see this on a regional perspective.
Because you cannot talk about gender equality without talking about the conditions that the women, under which women are raising children.
I just want to throw it out there. There's a hashtag, if she can, I can. There's so much power in just what you just mentioned, and just seeing these women, I think it's going to motivate them to, spread awareness themselves. So that's really exciting.
That's right. I have this little quote that came while we were trying
to share with us.
And that is, we must walk with women, we must walk with communities, we must walk with children, because progress must be shared.
Wow. That's a strong one. I'm going to have to coach you on that if you're okay with that.
That's all right, Temesia.
Okay, we've talked about the public sector, which is our government and everyone that plays a role there, and we've talked about the CSO. But I think now it's important to talk about our private sector.
I was waiting for that.
Oh, you waiting? I was like, that's an important part of our community is the private sector. What's their role here, or how do they play a part?
A huge part, as we have seen. Research has said that the private sector is vital because businesses benefit actually directly from healthier, more capable people. There's no two words about that. They can support working parents, invest in early learning, and co-lead in innovations. So when companies invest in ECD, they're investing in their future and the future workforce, and in loyal, productive families today. It's vital to have them as part of the conversation. It is a multi-sectoral arena.
That's a good word actually to put out there for everybody. Multi-sectoral. That's involving everybody, not just...
That's right. It's not a government's job.
It's not a government's job,
no,
right?
It's everyone's role. They have a role to play.
And there's another word, active bystander, right? If you see a child from 0 to 8 and you're around them, you're an active bystander. You have that responsibility to be there. And I think for us as Pacific Islanders, that comes natural, but having these forums really puts it to point that, hey, you're responsible. You need to look out for this child in your community.
That's right.
Well, Donina, we're going to be coming right back on Your Health Matters to talk about early childhood development at home. How can you start? It all starts with you at home. Welcome to Your Health Matters. I'm your host, Temesia, and tonight we've had a very special guest, Donina, all the way from the beautiful islands of Samoa, talking about the Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development and these amazing projects that's been pushing out with early childhood development, and having our key partner here, UNICEF, and their support for the Pacific. Donina, we're very excited for all these meetings, and I think sometimes we get carried away with having them and getting them go through conversations, dialogues with the communities, but we always have challenges, right? With how does it actually go down to the little boys, the little girls, the moms, the dads? What are some challenges that we're facing that the community or even across the Pacific, the challenges that we're facing?
Key challenges that we have with early childhood development, and you've mentioned having the policies, but how it actually translates down to the grassroots, to that little boy and that little girl that actually needs it, to that pregnant mom that really needs that support. So access remains unequal
Okay.
many of our Pacific Island, and not just Pacific Island countries, may
Right.
I say. These
Yeah.
challenges are actually global.
global.
It's
Global
not just
issue.
regional
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, and especially in remote areas, right? Access to good education,
Yes.
access to hospitals,
Yes.
access to supports, essential support services that they do actually need. At times, families are under pressure.
Yeah.
There's financial and emotional issues that they're dealing with, and some countries have basically no counselors,
Yeah.
or so it's really difficult to get to those services.
Yes.
But one of the other key that was challenges that was
Yes.
being raised time and time again, and we do hope to address that
Yeah.
in this upcoming ECD forum in the heart of the Pacific Samoa. Just want to throw that in.
Just throw it in there.
Our early childhood development workforce is very passionate, but stretched thin. They're underpaid. Qualifications
good
are hard.
point,
It's
yeah.
expensive to actually come by. Moms who are doing all this work at home are not recognized. So that's we need stronger coordination across health, education, protection services, government to
Yes.
look at how we can support the caregivers. That is essential.
When you say caregivers,
We're looking
Yeah.
at
What's your
well,
definition?
when we
Yeah.
look at Samoa, we're looking at the moms who are at
Moms,
home,
yes.
right? Dads who are at home, because
Dads.
dads with
to
brothers
all our
and
fathers out there, you play a
Oh,
strong
the
role in our
dads!
community.
We cannot do it without the dads.
And it
even if
doesn't
they're
start later in life, it starts right, then
right,
and there, right?
absolutely. When they come
From
back their
conceptual.
home, home from work, they should
Yeah.
be helping the moms out there,
Yes.
not just pick up the paper and TV and that. Just
Right,
saying,
yep,
it's,
very
other support.
important.
Brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, grandmothers. It's for them to actually understand,
Yeah.
because a lot of times now with the labor mobility,
Yes.
there's also a lot of fathers who are leaving and
What's
mothers
that
who are leaving.
quote? It takes a
A
village,
village to raise a child. That
Yeah.
is a very strong quote from the Pacific. Yeah. So another key issue that's been brought up time and time again is our wonderful policies, shiny documents that we have.
Shiny
How does that
documents,
translate
yeah.
down to the grassroots level? That is, the onus is on the actual countries. And
Yeah.
having these kind of forums are vital.
Right.
Because that is where we check in how they've actually, shifted the needle
Yes.
in the implementation of
Yeah.
their policies, and as well as what other countries are doing, which you can actually learn from. But let this be, a very vital thing for everyone to know, is that this is not just a one-man band kind of thing. It is not just the government or not UNICEF Pacific
Yes.
or UN Women or anyone at all. It's actually everyone.
Everyone.
And that includes the media. So I'm very
Yes.
thankful that we've got this conversation, because media is very vital in
Yeah.
getting the information out. We all know people do TikTok and,
Yep,
they
social
say
media is
Facebook
so
is for
strong.
grandmothers.
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok,
Yeah.
but it seems that to get through to our young people
Yes.
and to the young moms, you need to
We need
use
to be
certain...
advocating, having
Yes.
more awareness.
Yes.
When you mentioned that about media playing a strong role, it dawned on me how it really is everybody. You were talking about the bus
That's
driver
right.
as well.
That's right.
When we're having children 8 below go into these buses,
That's right.
we need to make sure the buses are safe and are accessible for these children. I was thinking about all our beautiful children in the maritime and traveling on these boats,
Absolutely.
making sure that the person that's driving the boat is responsible as well. And
That's
many-
excellent
yeah.
that you mentioned it, because I just wanted to say quick, because I know time's good, but that is why it's very important for countries also not just to look at your ECD policy that you've got at the moment.
No.
You need to actually review all your policies
Yes.
to ensure
Yes.
that early childhood development is embedded inside there with clear actions on what they actually need to do. For example, in Samoa, we're reviewing our climate change. We're looking at our climate change.
Yeah.
We're having talks with the Ministry
Yeah.
of Environment to look at how we, the current climate policy.
You mentioned that
and
about
how-
mobility and
Yes.
climate change, relocation of families. The children are involved in this
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
Wow.
The ECD policy is not just a soft policy I see, right? And policies, it's a smart policy.
Yeah.
If you look at
I
it,
like that.
because it touches every sector.
It does.
From education and health to law and business, and you need that overarching multi-sectoral approach in order for us to be able to support the
Yeah.
child, because when a child thrives,
Yes.
the family thrives. And when families are strong, the communities are resilient.
Wow. Just to wrap things up on that area, how you were talking about the community, how can families start today? If they're watching and they're learning about early childhood development and how the Pacific Regional Council is supporting the bigger role and having UNICEF Pacific push that, how can families start today at home?
There is so much that you can do. You don't even need to get funding. Play with your children.
Play.
Listen to your children.
Listen to
Sing
your
to your
children.
children.
Yeah.
Include them in the decisions that I'm not saying that you get a 5-year-old to tell you what you need to do, but you
Yeah.
open up,
Yeah.
to let them actually speak, But play with your children is very important. ECD is not just about children. It's about nation building.
Nation
It's
building.
very,
I love
it's about
that.
nation.
Yeah.
Investing early
There are-
improves education
our
outcomes.
next generation, our next
Exactly.
leaders.
Strengthens mental health, reduces violence,
Yeah.
and increases economic productivity.
Can I ask how dads play a role in these children's lives?
You need more sessions with me if you need to actually go into that.
But let's go into it.
Dad you cannot do without the dad, because it's mom and dad that actually make the child. So it's very crucial.
Yes.
Dad to support the mom.
Yes.
There's a support of the mom at home, because we often
Yeah.
know that the dads are actually working, but
Yeah.
the mom's at home with the child, spending quality time with the child, quality time with the mom.
Not quality time on watching TV, right?
That is not
all
quality
these,
time. No.
Gadgets that are just
No,
flooding our
gadget-free.
country. Gadget free.
Can we just go to
Families,
gadget-free?
we gotta stay gadget free in these
That's,
spaces.
if you ask me for
Yeah.
where, that is the first place to start. Take
Yeah.
those phones off your 2-year-olds.
Yes.
Right?
That's a good one.
Yes. But gadget-free, have gadget-free nights.
Oh,
And,
I love that.
Yeah.
Families, start
date.
your gadget-free nights.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
That's so beautiful.
Tylenol sessions when
Yeah.
you're having dinner
Read an
with
actual
the parents.
book.
That's right. Do your show and tell at home with
Yeah.
your own children, what they did during the day.
yeah.
So there is so much that you can start
You can start
yourself.
at home.
And if you need the support, there are ministries, there
Yeah.
are CSOs or non-government organizations that can provide
That's
the
it. Oh,
support.
and our faith-based organizations that play a
Absolutely.
strong role in these areas. yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, we've had a great discussion with Donina tonight as co-chair for the Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development with RMI. So RMI, if you're watching tonight too, thank you so much. And to UNICEF Pacific and their support to our countries, the 15 countries that will be represented, that's really cool. Donina, while you were talking, I just have to say, it was really lovely to hear your passion for our children here in the Pacific. And while you were talking, I thought of that quote where it says, a country's greatest investment is its people. And children are people too. And so if we invest
Absolutely.
now, we're looking at a brighter future for the Pacific.
Absolutely. If I may say, we owe it to our children
We do.
to get it right from the start. Because if we fail them now, we fail our future.
Wow. Wow. Okay, we're full of quotes tonight. There's one more quote. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
There
That's
you
a
go.
good one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight, Donina. For everyone back at home that are watching tonight, I hope you've enjoyed this amazing discussion I've had with Donina. And if you want to find out more, you can go onto their Facebook or their website, UNICEF Pacific. The Pacific Regional Council for Early Childhood Development also has a website and Facebook page, so you can stay in the discussions on what's happening in the Pacific. That was us for tonight on Your Health Matters. I'm your host, Temesia, and I'll see you next week at the same time right here on MaiTV.